Well, at first we didn't know what to do. We didn't know if we should keep the shows that we had scheduled or we should take a long break to work through all these emotions. But then we got so much support from all of you, from fans all around the world, that the three of us decided continuing on was what Carlos Marin would have wanted, and it was the right thing to do.
This tour is going to be a collection of our most popular songs that we've performed over 17 years. And we are going to be performing in a way that is paying tribute to our dear friend Carlos Marin. All of the songs have been handpicked to reflect some aspect of Carlos. And we have brought in a special guest, Stephen Labrie, who will be assisting us through this concert and through this challenging time.
I can't really pick out one memorable moment. Carlos Marin was a unique person, a unique singer, a unique artist. And he was always very outgoing, loud and proud, and he never went unnoticed wherever he went. So just the last 18 years I spent with him very intensely was just one experience. So it is, to me, it's useless wanting to pick one moment, because every time he was there, he made himself seen, he made himself heard. It's just a very, very, very flamboyant, outgoing personality, and it was always an experience being in his presence.
It was almost like every single moment was the biggest moment.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that 100%. Trying to pick any of the hilarious moments across 18 years is almost impossible. It's like swimming through a sea of memories. The only thing I can really point to was a starting point. It was the very first moment that I met him in the studio, where I met everybody all together, where just seeing his, first of all, hearing his voice was amazing, but then meeting his personality was also amazing. And I remember from the very first day, he asked me, because his voice for a baritone was very, very high. And he asked me on the very first day, "What is this competition? You're trying to sing my notes?" I'm like, "No, you're trying to sing my notes. Stop it."
Stop it.
Exactly. And that really just kind of set a wonderful tone for the next 17 years.
I don't have one. I don't have one moment, because I think the guys have said that so well. I don't feel like I need to add much. Every day was a moment with Carlos, loud, big. His voice, his heart, everything was Carlos. So every interview, the laughter, the inside jokes, every moment was an incredible moment.
When we first made the decision to try and tour again, we didn't know how we were going to accomplish this. We got so much support from fans around the world asking us to please continue the music. But how are we going to do that? Carlos's voice is in a different category than our voices. It's a baritone, and the three of us are tenors. And all of the songs are kind of wrapped around this idea of a lower voice kind of bringing the whole thing home at the end of the song. We did try and explore the idea of doing it as a trio, but it didn't work. It didn't function. It didn't make sense. So we had the idea of maybe we bring a fourth voice in, find a baritone who could be our special guest. and everybody kind of put their names of people that they knew onto the table. And I remembered Stephen Labrie. I had worked with him all the way back in 2015, I think was when we first met at the St. Bart's Music Festival. And I remember thinking he had a wonderful baritone voice. He was very young at the time. This was what, 7 years ago? Thank you. I don't do math. So 7 years ago, and he was really only in his mid-20s at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, this kid is going to have a big career. He's got a tremendous voice. Well, fast forward to 2019, I'm in the middle of making a solo opera album, and I decided I wanted to have a couple of duets on it. And one of the duets that I really wanted to try and achieve was the Pearl Fishers duet from the Pearl Fishers, which required a baritone voice. So I thought about using Carlos, but then I thought maybe I need to keep my two worlds separate of opera and Il Divo. So I thought to ask Stephen, and I invited him to come in. And he sang on that, and I, again, was very impressed with his voice. So when we did decide to continue touring and to try and find a fourth voice, I put his name forward. And we didn't really know how it was going to work, if he even wanted to sing anything other than opera, but he seemed genuinely interested. So we asked him, we sent him some of our album tracks, and we asked him if he would sing back some of those final choruses. And he recorded himself singing a cappella, and listening to those a cappella tracks back, it was just clear. We could tell that the tone of his voice and the approach that he was taking very much matched our voices and our music and what we try and do with the music. It's not every opera singer wants to use his voice in a non-operatic way, but Stephen had an ability to go to this other kind of crossover thing. So we sent him some more tracks, and he sent more back, and everything just kind of led to the next, and it made more and more sense. And so we did invite him to be on the tour with us. And so far, I think we're very happy with it.
Amazing.